There was a time when Antarctica lived only in the human imagination. A time when science and reason were forming enough to consider the extent of Earth, the sphere we all name as our home. Before the age of exploration began, before we knew that penguins were a possibility, the greatest minds of early eras, even Aristotle himself, envisioned something below, at the bottom of our planet. A frozen landscape with a weight that just might balance the world. Surely it must exist, for what we humans imagine, we make so. Or so we think. The centuries ticked on. Cultures continued to form, but Antarctica remained veiled in a cold fog. Until finally, when the wood was properly bent and the nails secured, ships were born that could make the journey south into the ice and an unknown land. And humanity was never again the same. Antarctica is an island, one whose edge is not defined by a shoreline, but by a barrier made of temperature. Both desolate and vibrant in its seasons, it is a place where unity and dissonance lock together within the ice. Antarctica has answers to questions we have yet to ask. Its history is not our history, but its future is ours to determine. So let us ask, where does Antarctica begin? And where does it end? Well, it starts, as all things do, with something very, very small. Something in the water column, and many somethings floating between the surface and the ocean floor, where the transference of nutrients takes place and the food web is born. The deep ocean is a highway of scavengers, predators, and opportunists. Which is to say, it functions very well. If we are to understand Antarctica, rejoicing in the existence of penguins is not enough, nor is marveling at the architecture of ice. For the truest understanding of the ecosystem that is the Southern Ocean, we must take a view from its deepest parts, far past where humans can endure. A place known as the benthos, but you can call it the bottom. A tumble of life, endlessly positioning for a better outcome. A twirl of opportunity and survival. An entire ecosystem on a rolling plain with icebergs dancing overhead and food raining down from above. piece by piece, we begin to understand a faraway place. What is born in the water eventually falls to feed the creatures on the bottom. This is how Antarctica functions. This is how it feeds. But in its seasons, the chaos of ocean currents stirs the nutrient-rich bottom and carries all of that potential back up to the surface. In this water, filled thick with food and building materials, the microscopic creatures consume and construct themselves. These creatures are the fertilizer for the entire world, and it begins with photosynthesis, the green poem of our planet. But what the sun allows to grow must be harvested. So who are the farmers of the Southern Ocean? What creatures reap the benefits of the eternal sunshine of the austral summer? Who consumes the green algae growing underneath the winter sea ice? The answer is as simple and as complex as a crustacean. We call them krill, the long-lived eaters of algae, cousin of shrimp, dancer in the water. Science names them Euphausia superba, and superb they are because krill are the largest biomass of creatures on planet Earth, the keystone species of Antarctica. fail to understand our planet in nearly every way. But in the stillness, the better part of us knows what we are losing, what we are allowing to be taken, what we tolerate. We never asked what Antarctica was willing to give. We simply took it for ourselves, bringing whales and seals to the brink of extinction and forever changing the ecosystem to serve human desires. Antarctica has no equal. It is the most sensational place on our planet. Not a resource to consume and exploit, leaving the ecosystem to pay the price. As far away as it may be, the natural cycles of temperature exchange and nutrient delivery affects all parts of our planet. The food we eat, the air we breathe, all whisper Antarctica. And all the Southern Ocean creatures that we celebrate rely on one thing: an intact, functioning ecosystem. And so, we, like them, must adapt. We must change our thinking so that we no longer view Antarctica as a resource, but rather as a place set aside, protected, cherished, far away, and a part of us all.